Okay, we're live again. We're live.
Yay! Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so I wanted to go ahead and start talking about the EU, Shelley. I'm really, really, really excited about what's happening. I'm sorry, honey. I didn't mean to yell at you. What's wrong? Double whammy? You know why? Because you're probably on live stream right now. See, let me show you real quick. On live stream, click on the volume and turn it off. That's why you're getting double whammy. Okay. But anyways, Shelley, if you can please tell me what's going on in your neck of the woods right now, because I'm really excited. I cannot stop thinking about it. I'm waking up in the morning and I'm just excited about what is happening with the EU right now, because I know it's good stuff happening. I mean, a lot of people think it's a bummer. They're like, oh, crap, you know, I won't be able to, you know, gain access to all the other countries, you know, like you and Phoenix Rising were able to do that as UK citizens, and you were able to be, you're also EU. And now that that's changed, there have been a lot of changes where you can't do that anymore. I'm not really sure what's going on, but just tell me, what do you think this whole thing is, what and why? Why is this happening?
Well, from what I'm gathering, because I don't watch television, as you know, but it appears to be that the majority of the people in this country were basically sleepwalking, you know, walking along, going about their own business, thinking, oh, we'll never ever get out of the EU, you know, we'll always be in the EU, and there was a lot of hate and a lot of anger towards the Cameron and the Conservatives about the way they've been treating the disabled and about how the country's basically falling apart. And it appears to be what happened was that a bunch of people decided to vote, because Cameron said, David Cameron, the Prime Minister, said, oh, we want to stay in the EU, and it was a bit of a protest vote, if you like. People thought, well, we're going to, you know, we can't stand Cameron, so he wants the EU, he wants us to stay in the EU, so we're going to vote to come out. And they thought it was going to be a protest vote, right? They thought pretty much that it was going to send a message back to Cameron. But they'd never expected in a million years that we would actually come out of the EU. You know, they thought, oh, it's just going to be a small, you know, dip sort of thing. But it turned out it backfired, and there's a lot of people who didn't vote who now wish they had voted, and basically it was kind of, like I said, people were sleepwalking. They thought, they didn't think that their votes really counted, and they did, and obviously there are a lot of people who do want to come out of the EU, but there's a lot of people that want to stay in the EU, mainly big corporations and big business, who rely on the European Common Market and all that stuff. And it turned out now that we've got all these people saying, oh, panicking and saying, oh, I want reassurances it's not going to cause damage to my business, blah, blah, blah. Coming out of the EU now, they're asking about security, because they're worried that their future's insecure now. So, and everybody's screaming and yelling, oh, we want another chance, sort of thing. We want to, you know, we want to do it again, you know? Well, that's stupid. I mean, if people can't take the economy that seriously, and they're going to basically gamble on people's lives by, you know, not taking action on something like this, as big as this, seriously, I mean, they don't even deserve to be voting in the first place, you know? So there's a whole bunch of people right now who are crying out and screaming and yelling and oh, we want to do it again, you know, we want a second referendum. That's what's going on now. There's a big protest, and what knocked my socks off was this. Somebody started a petition to have a second referendum on the EU, and within one day there was like 1 million votes already. You know, a million people have voted for a second referendum. That was just on one day. And God knows what it is right now, but I could probably go and look it up. But yeah, so it's absolutely, it's just chaos right now.
Wow, that's really amazing. Wasn't David Cameron the one that wanted a bedroom tax?
Yeah, and he's resigned. He said that if we come out the EU, I'm going to resign, and people basically wanted him to resign. So that was another reason why they voted to come out. So that backfired as well, because he seems to think that people like him, but nobody likes him, and so he's basically given his resignation on live television. Apparently, I've seen some video clips of that on YouTube and stuff, where he's saying that he's going to hang around for a while. We need a new leader now to take the country in a new direction to where we want to go, is basically what he's saying. And then there's another bunch who are saying, we want to do it again, we want another referendum. Oh, it's, like I say, it's just total chaos. And then there's a whole bunch of people in the Labour Party all resigning. The Labour Party is in complete disarray. There's like 5 or 6, maybe more people in Labour who have resigned in the last 48 hours. So it's just, yeah. Just beggars believe
What a
what's
trip,
going on
man.
right now.
And let me tell you why. I mean, because when I first heard about the bedroom tax, I thought it was a joke. I didn't believe it. And I'm like, you know what? Here we are. We're in Mexico. We can rent a house. We're free to do whatever the hell we want to. We have, 3 bedrooms. We've actually lived in other houses with a lot more rooms. And I'm like, and for someone to actually come into our house and say, oh, we're going to tax you because you're not using those 2 rooms. I would, you know what? People in Mexico would shoot them down. Are you serious? Like, what a joke. I mean, you got a house that you even own, and yet they're going to come and tell you to freaking tax the room because you're not using. How the hell would they even know that you're using it or not? I mean, now that's getting serious. So, if anything, that is the best thing that's ever happened, especially with David Icke. He was talking about this the other day. He was extremely happy and excited about it. But then I'm hearing other stories, they're saying, oh, this is all designed, watch what's going to happen. We're not seeing something else coming, that they're just doing this to get people sidetracked and all that. And then they're going to turn around and they're saying, oh, the markets are plummeting or the markets are going down. And they're going to use that like, oh, crap, maybe we do need a new world order and all this. But you know what, really, to tell you to Shelley, I don't even believe that, because if the EU could not come together with all those countries, what makes them think that the whole world's going to go under one law? I highly doubt that.
Well, exactly. I've just done a quick search now, and ITV News, which is one of the leading television websites, they've got an article up: Cameron gone, Labour in chaos, EU pushing for speedy Brexit, which is, dissolving the partnership between the UK, blah blah blah. UK politics rocked by decision to hold referendum. I've got it on the live stream right now. The country right now, we're going down a pretty dark tunnel, and we don't know what's at the other end. We just don't. It's kind of like, well, for many years people knew where they were heading. They knew about the chaos and all the debts and that we had with the world and all this banking stuff. But now we're literally walking down a dark tunnel without any idea what's at the other end of it. So people are panicking, and the biggest problem, obviously, is for the businesses. These companies who have got EU partnership agreements overseas, where they have negotiated some kind of a policy with the companies, and there's an agreement there. But now we're out the EU, that it's like somebody's you know, like the old days where somebody's selling apples in the street and somebody comes along and tosses your cart and your apples go everywhere. You basically, yeah, it's just like that. People are just don't know where they are. They haven't a clue what's going to happen. And I mean, I just did a quick search. I mean, anyone can do this. They can just search plus EU, plus referendum, plus chaos, because that is the key word right now, is chaos. I mean, now myself, I couldn't make up my mind about whether or not I wanted to stay or leave, because there's two sides to the coin. On one side of the coin, the EU is interfering with British standards and how people live, and they're imposing certain regulations on the fact that people can't even grow vegetables in the gardens because of a lot of nonsense that the EU is like they're doing with Americans, where Americans are not allowed to grow vegetables in their gardens, and they're trying to push the same policies on us in a different language, but in the same effect, where you're losing your ability to live on the land, and we're having that problem. So obviously people don't want that. They want to have more freedom, and so that's the one problem. Then there's the other side of the coin, where the EU gives you human rights, and you're not fighting other things alone. You've got some backing from the EU, but you've got to weigh it up. It's literally a pair of scales, you know. And I personally, on one side of it, I'm glad we're out, and I think we can survive if we just work together. We did it before, the EU. Before we were in the EU, we survived. We made things. The country was building things, creating things. Whereas today, too many jobs have been exported. That's the problem. You know, to China and all this. And I think this is an opportunity to bring some jobs back to this country instead of exporting them all.
Oh yeah, I agree. And this is what I'm thinking that's happening, because the EU, England has actually fallen, you know, gotten out of the EU. All the other countries are going to do the same thing. I already know it. All the countries are going to do it, and including the United States. Even Texas is fighting back to take back their Texas land, because before the United States came to be, meaning the United States Corporation, it used to be all the states were considered republics, and they were their own country. Okay, what, hon? Oh, you're gonna say something?
Right. I've just found out that there's another 5 places, another 5 countries that want to leave the EU. You've got France, Netherlands, Austria, Finland, and Hungary could all follow Britain to leave the EU. That's on the wall at the moment, but it's one. England is one brick in the wall, and you know what happens when you take one brick out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the Netherlands wants out. I know the Netherlands wants out, because you think about it, and even in Italy, it was so funny. This is so funny. We got to say something here. We went to Italy, and we go to the Vatican. You know, we go check out the Vatican. We're looking at it and everything. And, you know, we leave, and, you know, I was kind of hungover, unfortunately. I was partying with these 2 ministers that were from Ireland. They were a couple, and they were drinking a lot. And the next day I was like, oh, crap, I feel like crap. But we ended up going anyway. But anyway, why I'm bringing this up, it's so funny, because years ago, if you see on sovereignwarriors.ning.com, if you check out the forum there on my profile, it says, so where do you live, or whatever, and I put taking over the Vatican, and I put that out there a long time ago, right? So how funny. We take a little trip for 10 days, had the most amazing time, then we come back, and then a couple weeks later, all of a sudden, all this shit starts falling down, like a domino effect. It's funny. It's like because when we were in the Vatican, we're awake and aware, you know what I mean? We're probably one of the most awake and aware people that were actually there. So maybe something to do with our energies when we walked in. maybe affected it, but everything happens for a reason. There is no coincidences. We're all here for a reason. We're all here to make a change. We're all of us that are here, we didn't come here by accident, and we're not here to be screwed. Every little thing that we do, just us existing, makes a change. Okay, that's how important we all are. So I just find it hilarious as hell that after we leave, and then all of a sudden all this stuff is going on. So I thought it was just funny, and also the fact that they're coming down, falling apart, and next it's going to be, and I know it, I feel it, the United States is going to break apart too, because they're supposed to. Texas is wanting their land back. Can you go ahead and reiterate a little more of that, hon? You were the one who gave me that, you shared that story about Texas wanting their land back from the USA.
Well, there's not much to see on that. The only thing that I found out was just exactly that. There's no details that I'm aware of at the moment. It's just that Texas is actually wanting away from the United States corporation, and once they follow suit, once they grow a pair of huge kahunas like England did, because we are the flagship of the planet, basically, and once everybody follows suit, that's it, game over for the elite. So, also written on the wall is that the elite, the bankers, the Rothschilds, Sir Maximus Big Bonds, what's his name again? There's the Rothschilds, then there's Rockefeller, and a bunch of other dudes. They're all shitting their pants because this is the end for them. And they're going to try and get their last clause in for the last attempt of despair, because they know they're going to try anything and everything, because they know this is it. So they might come back with a second referendum saying, oh, we'll rearrange it so you can get this, but we still own your ass. And England needs to say, no, we don't want part of it, full stop. And then everybody else around the planet needs to follow suit. Just like Putin said. Not really one for Russian things, but that guy knows what he's talking about. I mean, I'm thinking, well, he could have been a plant, he could have been the favourite to their New World Order, but he's coming out with such information. He's not off sticking it to them, so I've been watching it and putting it out there about Putin and learning what he's been saying about England, America, and how bad their governments are running their people, and that they're killing their own people in various ways by sending your own children to war, and also vaccinations with poisons in it. What government should do that? And yeah, the bedroom tax, I won't go into that one because that's a load of shit as well. But what can I say? I mean, this thing with Texas, if they do pull out, if they do grow a pair, that's the start for America. And then everybody else will follow through there. So we've got America falling to pieces once that starts. We've got Europe falling to pieces once that starts. I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, what else could you want for Christmas?
Yeah. Well, I'm just reading this. I'm reading this article at the moment, and you know, the fact that the economy is on the verge of collapse. There's an article I'm reading right now. It says the problem for Britain is that it has a huge current account deficit which needs financing from abroad, and there is much talk about the way that a weak sterling can boost exports, but it also raises the cost of imports like oil, which will widen the deficit in the short term. So basically, coming out of the EU is a financial disaster for the country in general regarding the deficit and the debt. But you see, like we've all been saying for a long time, maybe we need a reset. You know, maybe it's time to just reset and wipe out all the debt, because otherwise we're totally screwed.
Exactly, that's the main idea. I mean, I think that this is part of the reset, because when you think about it, just for a minute, right? Everybody who's listening out there, just think about it for 1 second, right? Money. It's not worth the paper it's printed on to wipe your backside with, right? We know all debt is fraud, doesn't exist. And all this money is funny money because it's not backed by anything. So why don't we just abolish all of that kind of system, but abolish money, full stop, everything. And put in place new systems that actually work for the people, rather than the bankers.
Yeah, I agree with that. Go ahead, Shelley.
No, it's alright. Darren's fallen asleep on Second Life. It looks like his head's about to fall off his shoulders, and he's woken up now.
Ah, that's hilarious. Yeah, and guess what? Gold has definitely skyrocketed. That's for darn sure. I'm freaking flabbergasted for those of you out there that are gold lovers and silver lovers. Man, it is going up, 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 up. Very, very smart of you guys to be putting your stuff on, collecting gold and silver. Very, very smart, because we saw this coming, we know, and there's a lot more that's going to be happening. So it's very, very important. But I wanted to also say, when you guys were talking about, Texas and all that, okay, it's a big deal. It's funny because Obama, he said, well, we really wanted, it to stay with the EU. We really didn't want this to happen. But you want to know something? Because this is happening, everybody that's in our country that's ruling over us right now are from there. Did you know that? They're from there. They're from the United Nations, the UN, everything. Everything that's connected, it's all from there. Because the United States has not had their own currency for years since Abraham Lincoln died. We used to have treasury notes, and we have been adopting these Federal Reserve notes, which is foreign currency to the United States for many, many, many years. Now watch, things are going to start tripling down. Because the EU has fallen apart, now it's going to happen to the United States, because, again, we have been controlled by the bankers. Where do the bankers come from? They all come from Europe. Majority of them do. So how funny. It's all going to trickle down. So how funny Texas saying, no, I want my country back. So watch, get prepared. All the states are going to start turning to countries again, like it used to be years ago, how it was supposed to be when Abraham Lincoln was president. It was Republic of California, Republic of this, Republic of, this state. And wouldn't it be exciting? Wouldn't it be something? Because this is where all the laws are coming from. Why in the heck are the laws so damn similar to what you guys are going through over there in the UK? We cannot grow our own food. We can't drink our own water. We can't collect our own rainwater. That shit is happening in Germany. Why is that? So it's the same thing. We're being ruled by the same people. We never left freaking UK. We've never left British rule. We have been, and it's not even really British rule. It's Vatican. It's Vatican rule, and the few families that are ruling everything, or they think they're ruling everything. Well, the good news is our time is coming to an end, and this is the most amazing time. Even though they might throw, again, something at the end like, oh, we're going to try to do New World Order. What? I don't really think so. And I think if people are that stupid to accept that, we all have to remember that we're the ones in power still, and we have the power to say no.
Well,
yeah, and also not to forget.
Sorry, I've got this suspicion, this feeling in my gut, my intuition, that this whole thing is a ruse. It's designed to bring down the British economy even faster, to accelerate things for the global elites in a way. But maybe behind the scenes, the whole process of this EU control and manipulation of these countries, like the US and Britain and everything else, all of that is still going to be in place. I've got this feeling that the control is still going to be there, but we're going to have this illusion that we're going to be liberated when we're not. And that at some point at these globalist elites' choice, they're just going to come out and say, oh, there was a mistake, the referendum should never have happened, blah, blah, blah. We're just going to wipe it off, we're going to redo it, blah, blah, blah. There's an agenda behind this. There's something else going on. They need, when you talk about false flags and all this, right? Maybe this is some kind of a false flag. You know what I mean?
I had that thought last night, thinking, well, because I thought this is how they're going to introduce it to the world. They're going to collapse their old system because everybody knows it's a load of shit and it doesn't work, and then we're going to introduce a remedy for it, or a secondary push to try and convince everybody. But in a way, it's a good thing that the way this has happened, but people with minds like ours, I mean, you could be sitting on the fence with this one.
How can they...
That's exactly what they want. Look at it like
Okay,
this.
no,
We're all confused. This is what they want. They want confusion, chaos. That's exactly the agenda. That's exactly, it suits their agenda, because when you've got chaos, people are going to say, please sort this out. So the people are going to go running back to them saying, please fix this, sort this out, because we're wanting them to sort it out.
Okay, this is what I think. And this is why it's so imperative. And I'm not just saying sell my stuff, okay? It's imperative to become a secure creditor, and I'll tell you why. Because when things do fall apart, and then of course get your gold and silver, that's very important, but when things fall apart and you don't have the currency anymore, and the currency, because they have control of the currency, there's something that we do have that is called credit, and it's limitless credit through the 98 EIN. So when you actually become a secure creditor, you're actually on the list to get prepared for when things fall apart. You will be notified. You will have limitless credit anyway. So when shit falls apart, you're still going to be fine and you're going to be safe. It's very, very important, because you'll no longer be involved in this whole stupid debt game that they're doing, okay? And just in case that they're trying to do something like that. But that's why I say it's very important that everybody becomes secured. And it doesn't matter what country you're in. The UCC abides by, I mean, it is important for all countries. They use the UCC. China uses the UCC. Countries from all over the world, they cannot trade with other countries unless they abide by the Uniform Commercial Code. That's just it. So it's very important, and even my guy Stellar has even stated this, because I did bring this up to his attention. I go, well, I got a lot of gold and silver, I'm saving it up, and you know what he told me? He says, well, he said it's credit that you're going to need, not just gold and silver. I mean, it's good to have it, but it's credit. You always want to be backed up and ready when you have your credit, because they start looking at you not like a chattel anymore. They look at you as someone important. They give you a higher up. They give you a little more respect, which is the beautiful thing. That is why we're able to discharge debt, because they can honor it. They look at us differently. We're no longer debtors, okay? We're creditors, and we're there to help, to assist in any way. But other than that, if they do decide to do this false flag, another false flag, because now they're talking about the Muslims. Now I hear something else. I hear something else regarding...
Are you cut out,
I'm sorry.
Drew?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's like the new, okay, Obama. They're talking about Obama. And one of my students has brought this up to my attention. He's been really studying this. And he says Obama is the Mahdi. Mahdi or Mahdi. I don't know exactly how you pronounce it. Because I said, oh, is he the jihad or whatever? And he says, no, he is the Mahdi. And what that means is, he says he's going to stay in office. He ain't getting out. I go, how the hell is that possible? You know, in the United States, you're only allowed 8 terms. Or 2 terms, sorry, 2 terms. You're only allowed 2 terms, which is 4 years each. You cannot go beyond that. Okay? Well, he is going to do whatever he can in his power to stay in, and everyone, and all the other ones are going to try to keep him in, all the Muslims. Number one, he's a Muslim, and he's running the country of the United States corporation. It's not even a country, sorry. He's running the corporation. Okay. So what does that mean? You know, that's why there's this thing about ISIS, and then Muslims are running wild. They're running wild all through you know, the European Union, because the European Union is allowing all this because they're all in cahoots with each other. Okay, so now they're getting all the Americans freaked out, saying, "Oh my God, the Muslims are coming in, and oh shit, they're going to come and kill." They're going to come and kill us? Oh, crap. And you know why? And this is what they're going to do. They're going to tighten the borders again. They're going to keep tightening the borders, keeping not only people out, but keeping the Americans in to do something else. And they're talking about FEMA camps and all that. I mean, I don't want to get into the doomsday thing. I really don't like thinking about that. But this is kind of something that they're actually planning. I was actually watching Dabu 7. And according to him, he said that he caught some people talking about it on a chat, that they're actually planning this by election, because they do not want Donald Trump in there. They do not want that guy in at all, because they know they're fucked when he's in. Everyone's fucked in a good way. I mean, he's actually there to help. You know, I think I see a lot of positivity with him. I mean, I may not be 100% agreement. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't understand. Okay, so I know it might not be 100% agreement. I might not be in 100% agreement with him, but there's a lot of things that I do like about the guy. You know, he really wants freedom. If he's not just a shill or an actor, but I don't know. I mean, something. Okay, and also something else, because we are moving into the new energies. We're already there. Our Earth is vibrating at a very accelerated rate, and it's not only that. Even Jack Canfield said that, believe it or not, the guy that I'm actually training under, who wrote the book, The Chicken Soup for the Soul books. Even he said it. He says scientists are actually proving this now, that the energies are accelerating through the Schumann resonance of the planet Earth, that we are moving up a higher vibration. So no matter what these guys try to do, they may do it, they may try, but they're not going to succeed. They won't, because I'll tell you right now, how can we trust them again? You see, we don't trust them already now. That's why everyone broke away from the Euro, the European Union. And poor Greece fell apart. Freaking look what happened to them. And then Iceland fell apart. Look what happened to them, and the whole United States. So how the hell are people going to go back and trust these people again? There's just no way in hell it's going to happen. You know, it's kind of like a relationship. Once you've broken up and then you try to get back together, you try to do the best you can to make it work again. And then after that, the trust is already there. It's gone. You know, like a cheating boyfriend or cheating girlfriend. You can't never trust them again.
Well, Drew, it's the internet revolution and all this, the free flowing of information. It's at the point now where they can't rewrite history the way they used to do, because there's too many copies of the facts out there, and the only way they can hide what they've done and the crimes and everything else that they've done against humanity is basically to wipe everything out and start again, which is not going to happen, because people are just too awake to allow that. I mean, even Putin. Look at Russian President Putin. I know he's been slagged off a lot by some British media and everything, as being a warmonger, but it's backwards. We all know that he's not the warmonger. It's the US government. They're the ones who are invading all the countries. I mean, it's a fact. It's like a zit on your nose. You can see it's there, and they're trying to tell us it's not there, which is, people are just not stupid. Like, yeah, they've been trying to dumb people down with all the stuff in the drinking water, the fluoride and everything else, but it's not working. People are seeing through the charade.
Exactly, I totally agree with that, 100%. So there are a lot of negative things that might be happening, but I don't believe it's going to last very long. I was watching a lady that was an astrologer, very high-end astrologer, and she was freaking awesome. She was actually pretty damn right. She said around September, a time of Libra, there's going to be Jupiter in Libra, something to do with that alignment, that people are going to start looking for leaders that are not about war at all. The moment you start talking about war and bombing, they're like, screw you, we're going to find another leader. Like, people are just waking up now. They know, thanks to the information society now, or the information systems, and us communicating with each other and social network. A lot of us are making friends with people from the Middle East. We have a lot of friends from all over the world, and we're all realizing, oh my God, you guys aren't all freaking enemies. What the hell's going on here? So things are going to start changing, and everything is going to change. And she kept saying about the Berlin Wall. Remember what happened to that? I don't know if you can tell us a little bit about that, Shelley. See, I was a kid then. I was 17 at the time. But I was wondering if you can kind of shed some light. But she said something about the Berlin Wall. She says, look what happened back then. People wanted peace. People couldn't handle it anymore. So this is exactly what's going on right now.
Well, I don't personally know much about the Berlin Wall, really. I'm not somebody that knows a great deal about it, but I do remember that it was about separating two different groups of people to keep them apart. And I have to ask the question. My question myself would be, what is the purpose of that? Maybe it's because they want to limit duality at a certain time to keep information separated until at a time when they want to have confrontation. I mean, the story about the Great China Wall as well. I mean, people used to say about this Great Chinese Wall, the one that went all the way across the country, that no one can get across. Well, you can actually, because if you walk along the wall until you get to the sea, you can just walk around it, take a swim, and you're on the other side. So a lot of this stuff about these great walls that they erect is nonsense. I mean, because if you're determined enough, you can get around it. You know, literally, you just swim around it, or go around it, whatever. Unless it's like a castle where there's a wall going all the way around, you can't isolate people 100% all the time anyway. So I think it's just about restricting information flow when it serves their purpose. But you can't do that now, really, because the internet is it's kind of global. Even though the Chinese have tried to censor the internet and filter it, and information still gets out, you know.
Exactly, just like what pro-Brexit here is saying here in the chat. I'm actually reading your comment. I'm very grateful for you joining us. Very, very awesome what you're saying. And you know, he's even saying straight up, he's like, you cannot stop 5 billion people from trying to take their heads. There's so many billions of people in the world. I mean, they're waking up. They can't, there's a light that just went on in their minds, and you cannot stop it no matter what you can do. You know, it's just not going to happen. And we see, I mean, when I start really seeing things changing in the United States, if I start to hear something going crazy, saying, oh gosh, Washington State wants to separate, dude, I'd probably move back there. Because I love, not Washington, D.C., I'm not talking about that place, I'm talking about Washington State. I love it there. Oh my gosh. It's one of my favorite states in the whole United States. There and Virginia, the most beautiful states. I'm in love with those places. And the reason why I'm not living there, because of course it's under all this rule, all this bullshit. It's like, what's the point of buying any land or living on the land and can't even growing anything and then having to deal with all this? What's the point? So really, I see things are going to start happening. Can you imagine? What if it starts happening within the next couple months? Think about it, Shelley. Wouldn't that be something? And people can be free again.
Yeah, I've just put up pro-Brexit chat on the screen at the moment because I wasn't aware that there was a chat going on, and just so everyone can read it on the live stream later on. Yeah, the EU is simply part of the New World Order. Now, I don't think we've mentioned that yet, but the New World Order is this system of having a central government and controlling every single country in the world, basically like the Nazis wanted to do. And it is a Nazi system of total, you know, like George Orwell's 1984, where everyone's basically watched, spied on. I mean, look, you only have to, I can walk down my street and there's cameras popping up everywhere, like little boxes on the top of the telegraph poles, you know, the lamps and that, with little dome cameras underneath. I mean, I was looking and I thought, my God, this is getting really bad. Mind you, at the moment, they're putting these up everywhere where there's antisocial behaviour, but the reason there's antisocial behaviour is because people are being driven into desperation. They've got no means of living and feeding their children, and, you know, they can't afford babysitting fees, so they can't afford to go to work. So you're in a catch-22 situation where if you're a young mother and you've got a child, you can't go to work because you can't afford to pay somebody to look after your child in order to go to work. So you're buggered. So you're stuck at home, and then they're trying to take away your benefits, so you can't live at all. And then there's people committing suicide because they can't live, and they just don't know, there's nowhere left to turn, and the world has just gone mad.
That sure has. And that's why people are just had enough. They're sick of it. Because, I mean, again, we have the power. Now, the more we keep saying okay to everything and saying, now you know it's against the law to grow a carrot on your land, and if you do keep growing your carrot, you're going to end up in prison. And if people accept that and say, you know what, you know, if they're like, okay, sure, that's fine, yeah, sir, okay, they're stupid. I'm sorry, they're retarded, and they're allowing that shit. So that's why we have to step up and say, whoa, wait a second, who the hell are you? Under what authority? And that's a good thing to say for you guys out there. If you're going through any issues at all, and if they try to arrest you or anything like that, you always ask them under what authority, and they will stop and they won't even know what the frick to say, because they realize, wait a second, under what authority is it? God's authority? Or this, or whose authority? Under what authority, and who the hell are you? So this is when people really have to make a stand, and you know, this has to happen. And it's, more people are waking up. They are waking up about, you know, they're learning about quantum physics, they're learning about parallel realities. People are talking about how they're starting to notice shifts going on, you know, major weird shifts happening, that let's say that they've seen things happening that they remember very well within their own minds, that it happened a long time ago, but yet it looks completely different now, and it doesn't make any darn sense. And they're noticing things a lot, and that is enough to say, whoa, what is, you know what, and it's a good thing, it's a beautiful thing, because we are moving into a higher frequency. And this is exactly what Dolores Cannon said, who was out there to, she was pushing her research. She was a hypnotherapist in quantum hypnotherapy, quantum healing hypnotherapy. She actually created that, and did a lot of hypnosis on a bunch of people, and have them under a somnambulistic state, such a deep state where they cannot lie at all, and it's such a deep state, such a deep trance, that they can even do surgery a lot of times. A very, very deep state. It's like Delta, okay? So what happens is, these people go back in time, they go back into their past lives, and not only their past lives on this planet, they're going into their past lives in other planets, and also their past life with being source, or being a soul. And they're actually communicating what has been going on throughout the histories and why they're here. They're coming here. They're all coming here because they believe, they've been told that the planet is in trouble. Sorry, the planet is in trouble, and it needs help. So we need the volunteers to come and help. And with all the new energies coming in through the new babies that are being born, you know, the past 10 years, the newer energies, people are becoming awake now, they're waking up. They cannot lie anymore. I mean, it's done for, it's over with. There's no more of this shit anymore, you see? So all this other doubts coming in, you know, we get a lot of other group of people. We got people that are into the revelation, they're into the whole church teachings and the Bible, and they're just waiting for the end of the world to come and Jesus Christ to come and get them, only the ones that believe in Jesus. I don't agree with that at all. Because in a past life, I knew him. I was part of that group. I knew that group very well. And I also, whenever I would tap into Jesus' energy, he was just nothing but love. There was no judgment. He didn't see people with judging eyes at all. There was only love with him, and he was only trying to teach people to be something that he was. And he told everyone, you could do things like me, but even greater things. What does that say? What if he was the son of God, or he was just the ultimate king of everything? He would have never said we would do greater things than him. You know, he didn't want people to worship him. So you get a lot of radicals out there, and I'm noticing that, because they're waiting for things to fall apart with the Muslims and the jihad, and, you know, and they need to turn Christian now. I mean, I see a lot of this, and I'm like, no, it's still very radical. Why? Because listen to the energy, feel the energy in the room. They're angry. Who wants to be around angry people? You know, this is not about dealing with lower vibration of anger and fear and wanting to get back at somebody and hatred. No, it's about freedom and vibrating to who you are, and focusing on your inner child and your joy of being free and following your passions in life. You know, no one wants to put their time and energy into getting angry and pissed and wanting to shoot down people. I mean, come on, what's up with you guys out there? Get over this crap, you know? Get over this already. We're all human beings here. We need to get over this, and we need to unite. This is what it's about. Stop judging people. I mean, yeah, there's Muslims out there, but not all Muslims are like that. You know, they have different types, or a tiny little group. Like, you got the crazy group of the Christian group that went out there butchering people back in the day. What was the Crusades back then? In the name of Jesus Christ, they're butchering people. I mean, do you really see Jesus going out there butchering people? I think people are forgetting what the hell Jesus was trying to teach in the first place. Love your neighbor as yourself. Whatever happened to that? When someone punches you in the cheek, you turn away. I mean, yeah, that's very difficult to do. But I think what he really meant is like, you know what? I don't have time for your shit. See ya. You know, because why would you get involved in that and punch him back, and then what happens? And then it goes back and forth. You're not even better than the other person that punched you, okay? So he was above and more advanced than that, because most of these people who call themselves Christian, they don't even act it, man. They act like they're out to kill you. They're for revenge with their guns and their fury, and it's like, wow. You know what? You know, the people of this planet really need to learn. They need to learn what love is, unconditional love is, and stop creating karmic situations for themselves, because what's going to happen, guess what? You're going to come back to this world, and the person that you killed or shot, guess what? You guys are going to be either spouses, or you're going to be brothers and sisters coming out of the same mother, having to learn to love each other. And you want to know something? Isn't that funny? This is what Dolores Cannon was talking about, how most of these people that are there, I swear sometimes I think that with my two kids, I think that they killed each other in a past life, but they have to come back to learn to live with each other. See, this stuff you cannot be told. You can't be taught this stuff and just told this stuff. You have to come back to experience it and realize, wow, you know what, I must have done some crappy stuff out there. But, you know, I have to love my sister. I got to love my brother, because I do love her, even though she gets on my nerves. You know what I mean? So we have to learn to love each other and get over this judgment of what religion you are, what group you're a part of, and stop feeding the media, because the media is the one that's telling you a bunch of this crap. And they're saying, oh, the terrorists came for 9/11, and it was the inside job. It was all designed by our presidents, okay? I'm checking this out, like, out of the blue, they're showing these celebrities that actually look like these people from, like, years ago. I am, like, shocked right now. I'm going to go ahead and, they're like clones or something, like Sylvester Stallone, Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, my, I'm, like, totally baffled right now, like, how these people look a lot alike.
I was going to mention this about this actually, and I forgot. I'm glad you reminded me, because I was watching some old videos from the 1960s. Sorry, my microphone's gone wonky on me. I was watching some old videos from the 1960s, like some old movies and stuff, and I thought, oh my God, that guy looks like so-so in a modern TV show. I thought, it can't be. And I've started to notice recently that there's quite a few people who have, because I don't watch television, right, and I've actually downloaded and watched a few movies off the internet, and I'm thinking, is that so-so? It's a bit like when you see Jeff Bridges and, you know Jeff Bridges and his son, Lloyd Bridges, no, his father, Lloyd Bridges, right? They look alike, you know what I mean? They've got a similar look to them. And I was thinking the same thing, that, oh my God, it's like, you know, why is it that so many of these people in show business seem to look like someone else in show business? And, you know, you start to wonder, and if they're not family, who the hell are they? Are they clones? Yeah.
You know what? That just goes to prove that there is reincarnation. That's just it. My God, I'd like to find out who I looked like back then. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Why does Darren keep throwing things in the pond? Because I keep hearing plop.
I get bored easy. I need to pick up.
Oh damn it! Hang on, I've just lost my focus on the second life. Yeah, where is that thing? Is it the wishing well, or you keep throwing money in the wishing well? Yeah, you did it again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right next to you, isn't it? Oh, I see where it is now. Hang on. Yeah, the touch for blessing. Yeah, you keep wonking that. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I find that extremely interesting. How these people look exactly as they looked back then. What if these celebrities gain access into the teleportation where they've actually went back in time and actually affected the past?
What about David Wilcock, who looks like Edgar Cayce? Is it Edgar Cayce? Yeah.
Yes.
So I'd wonder who I actually looked like as well. That'll be interesting. Or was it a hot dude back then as well? But yeah,
Well, there's no one like me.
Cayce. There's.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was going to say, there's no one like me. I'm kind of unique. But somebody said to me once, stopped me once in the street and said, "Oh, you look just like so and so." I thought, well, why is it I never meet my double, but everybody else does?
No idea, but yeah, that thing with Edward Cayce, I mean, that guy alone came up with a lot of knowledge and a lot of
I know.
information. Yeah.
I know what Phoenix Rising looks like. He looks like, according to me, I don't know what you think, Shelley, but to me he resembles Anthony Hopkins.
I don't think so, but I can sign up. Yeah, yeah, that movie where it was Clarice.
Hannibal.
Yeah, Hannibal. Yeah, I think I can see that. Yeah, I can see some resemblance in that movie. Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy, especially when we're like, having a hot night and kissing and shit. And I'm like, oh crap, oh god, I hope he doesn't eat me up now. He starts really looking like him and shit. Stop it. And you remind me of Rush. You remind me of the singer of Rush. I don't know if you ever heard of Rush before.
If she puts her makeup on, she looks like one of those dudes from Kiss.
Joanna just flopped on the second line. She's asleep. So we're getting off topic here. Let's get back to this EU thing and let's see if any of us can come up with any possible predictions about this, because do you remember me telling you a few years ago that I said that there was something major was going to happen in 2017, and I suspect it's going to be around March time. Well, I didn't say the March date, but I did say that 2017 was going to be something big was going to happen. Well, we're only a few months away from that, really. We're less than a year away. So maybe this EU thing, maybe that's the start of whatever is going to happen next year.
Well, apparently, I saw some news, I can't remember exactly where, somewhere online. Actually, I think I showed you it. It was on the 31st of March 2017. Something about NASA was saying, oh, well, it's supposed to be like 3 days or 4 days of darkness, but you actually blew that apart by saying, well, it's not on NASA's website, but there's a lot of all these other hoax places that have put it out there, so that's the date that sticks in my mind for that reason anyway. So it could be with the EU thing, it could be the collapse of the world as we know it, with all the tyranny and all the bankers and all these global elites and all this bullshit just finally peeling away from everything, and then we can all just live in peace.
Well, yeah, I was saying it's quite simple to verify. If somebody quotes somebody else's saying, like, for example, if somebody comes up to you and says the BBC have just said blah 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 blah, right? All you have to do is search plus BBC plus blah 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 whatever, and you search Google, and if you don't find any article on the BBC that's got that in it, then you know they never said it. So, I mean, it's simple to do, anyone can do it, but most people don't know how to use the search engine. It's not their fault, really, I suppose, because a lot of younger people...
Oh, you're cutting out, girl.
Sorry?
More calling Orson, coming Orson, you're cutting out.
Okay, I know what it is. I think the kids are streaming right now, so we're going to hold on one moment.
Oh, it must be your end then. It's not my end, it's your end.
User in your channel timed out. User entered your channel.
Well, all I can say really...
User entered your channel.
All I can say really is it seems to me that whatever's going on right now, it can only get worse, because businesses are feeling insecure, financial assets are going to be fluctuating like crazy on the stock market. So I mean, Darren, you're plopping again. Yeah, so who knows what's going to happen? I mean, I think whatever it's boiling up to, it's going to manifest itself by 2017. Because at the moment, what people are trying to do is plug the leaks. People are just going around like crazy, trying to create artificial stability, which is, where people are in denial. They're saying, "Oh, don't worry, everything's going to be fine," and other people are getting paranoid, and there's a lot of reassurances going around, but at some point, we're going to have to deal with it, I mean, it's like when you've got a leaky roof, you can deal with it for so long by putting the bucket underneath it, but eventually your bucket's going to overflow.
Yeah, I really agree with that. So I just say this is what I feel, you guys. It's all going to come together, okay? And I mean, it's going to get crazy first. It's going to get nuts. I already know that, because people are, they're all so focused on the media, what the media tells people, and I mean that's pretty much it. But I just say don't listen to the media, because there's something much bigger that's coming. I feel we're going to probably within like next year, by next year, I mean, things are going to start coming in alignment, and there's going to be some new leaders, new society, you name it. Everything's going to be coming together. Everything's going to go back to common law with the United States, and things are going to start going back to where it used to be in England and Europe. And there's going to be some forms of peace. But, again, I have heard a lot of scary things, what might be happening and so forth. And, and it's really funny, though. I mean, we were so close to moving to Europe right away. We're like, but something in me, like weird, I kept getting this voice in my head. Not really a voice. I don't hear voices. But, the thought, it was real loud in my mind. And I said, no. Go somewhere else in Mexico. Just go somewhere else in Mexico. Don't, because I'm in Mexico now. And I'm really bored where I'm at. But we're going to be going somewhere really nice. Go somewhere else. Don't worry about it. Don't focus on Europe right now. And it was weird. It was really loud because I was so freaking in love with Italy. I was like, man, I'm ready to just move immediately. Get our stuff and go. And I just kept getting, wait, don't leave now. And how funny. This is all coming together.
Yeah, because there's been massive protests in France right now. There's like, I think 1 million people or something took to the streets protesting. So everything in Europe is just complete, in disarray. So I don't think it's the right time for certain that you should move there right now, because I mean there's a whole bunch of racism going on in the UK right now. There's something else, I don't think I covered that, but because of us coming out of the...
User in your channel timed
Because
out.
we're coming out of the EU, there's a whole bunch of racist people walking around London, shouting down at immigrants, people who, coloured skins, people who've actually been born in this country, and saying, we left the EU, so why don't you go back home? And I mean, they seem to think that that's EU is related to the migrants and the migrant crisis and all that, but they've got this attitude that because we're not in the EU, we're leaving the EU, therefore these people need to go back home, but they don't seem to understand. I mean, it's just complete ignorance that some of these people were born here and they can't go back to their own country because this is their own country.
User entered your channel.
Hey, you there, Shelley?
Yeah, I was just saying something, but you didn't get it. But it doesn't matter. You can listen to it later when you're playing it back. But yeah, maybe if Darren drops off and you just stay on, that way we'll probably be able to carry on. Yeah, I just saw Darren popped out there.
User entered your channel.
Yeah, it's because the kids are on the internet. They could have held off while we finished doing this show.
I fixed it.
Yeah, they were streaming, so yeah, we can't stream and do a bunch and then talk on the show at the same time. So yeah, they're not gonna do that anymore. But that everybody who's listening there. But anyway, so I find that they are talking about major changes with the currency. I know that Winston Shrout was talking about it. He's like a big-time teacher in the secure creditor, and he was talking about how look at your dollars. That your dollars are gonna, instead of saying Federal Reserve notes or whatever, it's gonna start saying United States of America notes. Something like that, and you're going to realize that the change has been made. So definitely look for that in the next few months. He said this is like back in May. He said this.
Yeah, and obviously we haven't covered the New World Order thing. Oh yes, we did. We did cover that, didn't we?
Yeah, the New World Order. I mean, really, the New World Order. It like I said. United States was never free from the whole New World Order rule. That's why the laws are so darn similar. Don't do this, don't do that, you know. Like I have a girlfriend of mine who's just going through hell right now with her child. I mean, they live in California, and one day, I guess she forgot to sign something, a piece of paper, and put her initials on it or something, my friend, you know. And so the teachers punished her daughter by sitting on the bench for recess, not even joining any of the kids for recess, sitting there and punishing her because the mother didn't sign something. Now, how ridiculous is that? Because she goes to a public school. And I said, yeah, that's why we left. We left the States because I started seeing this happening where they were like, oh, you kids need to get vaccinated and telling you what to do and how to do it. And I'm just a type where I get like a paranoid feeling because at first, you know, again, my past lives has a lot to do with my past lives. I've been murdered, I've been hung, I've been burnt to the stake. I mean, this is nothing new to me. So it's like, you know what? I'm gonna just say what I have to say and then know what's going on, know what's coming down the pike, and I'm getting the hell out of the country. I mean, that's just it. And we basically went to Mexico and we went to Thailand, and then now we're back here in Mexico again, and we're just gonna lay low here for a bit until things start to simmer down a bit. Because now they're saying, oh, there's going to be an all-out war going on. It might be a major civil war happening on the United States soil. So, yeah, I mean, this whole New World Order takeover, I don't think that's really going to happen. They're going to do whatever they can. They're going to try their darndest, though, to make it happen. But I think if Putin's involved and if he's real and authentic, it can't happen.
Yeah, Darren, what's your thoughts?
I missed the whole conversation part because I had to nip out to sort the kids out.
Oh, okay. It's no worries. Yeah, well, I was just showing this article about these votes. 1 million people, 1.7 million people have signed a petition demanding a second EU referendum. We were talking about this earlier. Well, this is the article. Just showing it on live stream right now, and it's on the independent news site, the UK independent news site. So, yeah. Well, what should I do on here? I'm going to vote no and see what the result is actually, because you can't see it unless you click on it. Oh my god! Oh, damn it, what's happened then? I clicked on my alt key and I lost it. Damn it! So, I think it says 74% were still saying yes. What's saying yes, but 26% agree with me. That's, in other words, there's 76, 74%. So there should be a new one.
I understand there'll be a lot of mixed feelings. There'll be a lot of people also on the fence on this one, because how will it actually affect the UK coming away from the EU? Yes, they will lose certain privileges for being in Europe, like for example, we have a friend that wants to go move to Spain because they have property in Spain, and now this person is going to have to do a visa thing, which could complicate things, but before then, obviously, there was no effect, because being part of the EU, we could come and go in the EU line as we, show your passport, scan it, boom, next please, not a problem. Don't have to bother with any of the visas, because we were all part of it anyway, but now it's a different story. So in a way that's going to affect. Also, I was reading, it's also going to skyrocket flights to and from England to Europe. I don't know if that's going to be true or not, but that's obviously on the wall as well. So there's a lot of things we're actually finding out as it overcomes, because you'll find out there's a lot of people, including myself. I don't really follow politics because I think it's all bullshit anyway. It's just all man-made wannabe things that they think they can keep a hold of you for whatever reason it is. But I don't really, to be honest, I don't understand it. I don't really care. But for those out there that do, then we would love the input to find out how it would affect certain people in a certain way, because it's going to affect a lot of people in different ways. Even if you have, some people might have property in different countries in Europe, some people might have bank accounts, offshore bank accounts. How's this going to affect their lifestyle? I mean, it's going to affect a lot of things, a lot of people in a lot of ways. But in another way, there's a lot of people partying it up in the UK still to this day, even though it's been a few days. They're still rocking it. So, me, hoorah. We all need to be independent, we all need to be sovereign, we all need to be away from this bullshit. So, yeah, me personally, I think, yeah, it's a good thing that we left the EU.
Yeah, well, I do too. I mean, because things used to be a lot better pre-EU, because Britain actually joined the EU in 1973, and I was actually 13 years old at the time. So, majority of my life, I've experienced what it's like, and I've seen the decline in this country. I've seen the slide downwards as things got harder, and we've lost more and more of our rights and liberties, and as things became more and more draconian, and all this crazy obsession about safety, which is all bullshit, and they're getting completely paranoid about people, and yeah, at the same time they're putting poisons in our food, which is even more of a danger to us than anything else. All this aspartame and everything. We didn't have all that problem before we joined the EU, and it's only since we joined the EU that we've had toxic chemicals put in our food, we've had all these GMOs, everything's gone downhill, and it's got to be directly related to the EU. It has to be. So coming out of the EU. Well, think about it. Before 1973, the food that you would buy on the shelves was most of it was local produce. We didn't have aspartame in our drinks. We didn't have the food was a lot healthier.
Okay.
And it's only after we joined
let me see. Let me tell you this. I don't know if you. I know you listened to Alex Jones years ago.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before, I watched the movie Endgame by Alex Jones. This is back in 2008, and wow, what a wake-up call. In that movie, it told you straight up what they were planning on doing was to unite the European Union and do the American Union with Canada, South America, and the United States, and then Asia, everybody being joined together, and then from there, they were going to do that world domination. So this all comes straight from there in Europe and the UN. All this crap comes from there. So guess what's going to happen? You know, since the European Union came together in 1970s, I'm not really sure what was going on in the United States, but it was around the 70s. That time is when we stopped using silver. So this has been an ongoing thing. This has been going on for years, but they did it very slowly, so that way, you know, they didn't want to trip people out right away. They want to do it slow motion throughout the years, where everything was looking normal to everybody, that this is the way life is. And then the freaking chemtrails started coming up, you see. So we're, again, the European Union, we're under the same law and rule, even though, yeah, we're in America, United States, but we've been under the same rule, because, again, United States. What do you think the United States is all about? Under Washington, D.C. And United States is heavily fluoridated, you guys. It's like over 60% to 70%. That's how fluoridated you guys are. The water is that fluoridated. So you figured what type of water that's going into your fruits and vegetables, even your organic fruits and vegetables. Are you even checking your water? That's all fluoridated. Okay, that's a very highly fluoridated country. I don't like going to the States because of that. You know, I mean, I got to go back over there for a week training with Jack Canfield and all that. But really, I really don't want to go, because just for that thing, you know, I'm going to be showering with fucking fluoride. Sorry. You know, and drinking aspartame. And then aspartame. It's just highly fluoridated place. It's ridiculous. And even in Ecuador, and even in Cancun of Mexico, southern Mexico, on the other side, east of Mexico, they even have fluoridated salt, you know. So this is all in the GMO, like you're talking about, Shelley. How funny. How funny you're saying this. It all has to do with this crap. It's the European Union, man, okay? And the taxes, where's all the tax money going to from the United States, USA? It's going to there. To fund all this crap, to fund the stuff that we're being poisoned by. So this is the best thing that's ever happened.
Well, yeah, obviously, because if you think about it, every country that joins the EU has to send money to the EU, right? And it's like we're paying them for this, all the chemtrail crap that's happening to us. So we're basically paying them to kill us off, right? Because we didn't have chemtrails
That's exactly what I said.
We didn't have chemtrails pre-1973, because I can tell you that for a fact, because I used to walk to school every morning. I left school in 1976, and I used to walk to school every morning. We used to have sunnier days back then. I remember we didn't have all this grey stuff every single day, because we used to look out and look at the sun and think, oh, I wish I was outside, you know. We used to have lots of play days, you know, we'd call them play days. When it was nice weather, you could go and play. We had lots of play days. But today, the kids are lucky to get one play day, you know, because the weather's always crap.
Yeah, exactly. I even remember back in the days when, even in the winters, we used to have a lot deeper snow, didn't we, Shelley? I mean, the snow was so deep back in those days. They closed schools for the day, so we had a snow day. And then, but now it's down to all this chemtrail and stuff, and the greenhouse gases and all that kind of stuff that they're geo-engineering the planet. The snow doesn't even stay on the ground long enough because it's so freaking hot. It melts straight away. I mean, what happened to those days?
I remember when I was little, we lived in a bungalow at the time, and the winter was, the snow was so deep, sometimes it was like up to my knees. And I was smaller obviously back then, but you're talking about a foot deep snow. And I remember, I mean, those times, I mean, people say, oh, well, who wants a load of snow? Yeah, well, at least it was clean snow, it wasn't full of chemtrail crap.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, bring back those days, huh? I mean, we used to have a dog. He was quite small, but he was, we used to lose him in the snow. We used to have a lot of fun with those days, but now it's like, everyone's losing interest because of the way the elite are trying to brainwash everyone, trying to control everybody, trying to say, you can't do this, you can't do that. Just like Drew said before, we were learning about things in the United States, and me as an Englishman, I thought that was disgusting. You can't capture your own rainwater, you can't filter it to drink, you can't grow your own food in your own garden. The cops coming down and wreck it, and they take your ass to jail. What is that? I mean, saying that, English people in England, they're just as bad, because over there, the Americans never heard of having a TV license to watch TV. Never been heard of. And also this bedroom tax, I mean, we all laugh at it. I mean, they come up with all kinds of stuff.
It's not funny if you've got to pay it. I mean, the Americans can laugh about it, but it's they don't really. I mean, maybe I should cover this briefly, but basically we get these, like, Nazis coming knocking on our door, threatening to send us to prison if we don't pay for a TV license. If you're watching television without a license, you can go to jail. You can be fined £1,000, which is equivalent to like $2,500 or something. I mean, and these people go around with these vans, these detective vans with antennas on top, like flipping Second World War, where they go around with the wireless to track down illegal transmissions and all this, and you feel like you're living in Nazi Germany, and it is just like that feeling. It feels like Big Brother's watching over your shoulder, and you're afraid to go to bed at night. If you're one of these unfortunate people where you've got a television, right, and you can't afford to pay it, you are living in fear every day. You know, I mean, it's not a laughing matter. It really isn't. But I'm alright because I don't have a television, and I don't want one. And keep it and stick it somewhere where the sun don't shine, because it's all propaganda. It's designed to sway your opinion politically, the way they want you to, in the way that they want you to think.
Exactly. I mean, the word television itself, we were watching something, it actually says tell-lie-vision. Programs, well, that name in itself is actually a clue, because it is programming you into the way that they want you to think, they want you to act. So this is the zombie apocalypse, because we've got fluoride in our food, fluoride in our water, fluoride in our freaking toothpaste, and all the other chemicals that goes along with it in our food. It's all to dumb the brain down and make us look stupid. Well, I got news to the elite. We probably had it that much that we're now immune to it, and most of us think, well, it's not working anymore, so ha ha ha. Now, the ones that are awake, it's our job to awaken the rest of the populace, and slowly by surely it is happening, because things like this with the EU and the UK leaving, this would never happen, because you need a percentage of people to vote you need a percentage of people to act in a certain way on a certain topic for them to be victorious. And slowly but surely, this is how we are changing the world. And I would say from this day is one of our first great victories.
Yeah, definitely. On Second Life, you appear to be sinking into the cushion. I don't know why.
Getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Darren is
Yeah, when
melting.
you... I'm sorry, when I heard about the TV license, I was like, oh, what the hell is that? I mean, but see, again, people have been that stupid for a while. No, I'm serious. They would not allow that if people would have stood together and said, hey, you know what, you know what, the fact that you even came to me here in my home and asked for a TV license, okay, guys, we're all going to come together, we're going to go immediately to the council immediately and get this thing situated. This is ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really, that's all it takes. If all people catch on to it, they can't go against the people.
But you see, they haven't stopped there. Oh, this is something you might be interested in. I recently got a letter through the door. No doubt it's more EU bullshit, because I can't find it actually at the moment, but talking about they wanted to impose licensing on accommodation. And I read this and I thought, oh no, not again. Because every time they talk about licensing, it always means that the client, the customer, has to pay money out. And the way they worded it made it all sound friendly and everything. You know, they made it sound really like non-malignant or anything like that. But basically, they're talking about new accommodation, new properties would eventually be subject to a new licensing method for security and all this blah 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 and maintenance blah blah blah. And I thought, when I read it, I thought, well, when you put a license on something, you're basically requiring someone to pay for that license and to apply for a license. And as I've been talking to my neighbours about this, I said, look, if you get this form about licensing properties, I would, click no, because it's another scam. And I think that's probably why people have decided to get out the EU, because they've seen it and they've recognised what it means, and they've been tricked many times in the past, and they're not going to be tricked anymore.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a license. And you know what? In the United States, what they're thinking about doing is in 2017, they want everyone to use their passports to fly domestically. Can you imagine that in their driver's license, that they have to have one or the other, and they have to have their passport? Like if I wanted to fly from California to freaking Washington or something. But maybe it could be a good way, because if that's the case, maybe it means that all the states are going to break apart and they're going to be different countries.
Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can find this document.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, because that's a new one for me. A license for housing. I mean, exactly how's that supposed to work, right? You're supposed to have a TV license to watch TV. Now are they saying you need a license to rent a house? What the hell? I mean,
License to rent a house?
Next time you're going to need a license just to make love to your wife. I mean,
Exactly.
this gets stupider and stupider. I mean, seriously, I mean, for you,
License to have kids.
for you guys out there wanting entertainment, this is the show where it's happening. But yeah, I mean, where do I start, man? Everybody out there, they know how they're getting bullshitted. They know how they're getting screwed over. They know how they're being manipulated. All these stupid little things. I mean, I've noticed stupidest laws in certain states of America. Like, I don't know, I can't remember exactly all of them, but one of them, say, for example, this is true stuff. Something stupid like, say, in Texas, you can't take your cat for a walk on a leash after 4 p.m. for some reason, or else you get arrested. I'm talking bylaws which are so stupid. And it's like, and there was one place where you're not allowed to make love in missionary position. And
Oh, that's the States.
that, yeah, in different parts of the States, all these bylaws, and it's like, what? No, it's getting beyond a joke. It's getting way past it now, and the elite is coming out with some stuff that is way past stupid. I mean, really, how stupid do they think they can get away with it? How stupid do they think they can get us?
What I think, they can hear me perfectly.
Okay.
What I think is maybe they do this to push us to the curb so much for us to wake up. Like, come on, guys, are you that stupid? You're going for this?
No, I think they're just trying to keep us so stupid so they can keep pushing buttons.
Yeah, but we're forgetting about our power. We don't have to put up with that.
Oh, exactly. I agree with that. Yeah.
So why are we allowing it?
That's what we need to do. Everybody around the world, if we can get this out. I mean, to be honest, think about it for one moment. Everybody around the world stop paying tax. What could they do? Are they going to send everybody to jail? They don't have enough jails. Damn, they don't even have enough FEMA camps for that. So, me? Screw them.
Yeah.
You found that document yet, Shelley? Because I'd really, really love to hear from that. Because that would be really interesting. But yeah, it's beyond a joke now. I mean, I can't do anything but laugh at this. Because looking at it, it's so funny, and it's all crumbling for the elite. I mean, where do we start? I mean, we're celebrating now.
No,
But
I haven't.
also, just while we've got Shelley looking for a document, I would like to take this opportunity to wish a good friend of ours a happy birthday out there. So we've got to say a big happy birthday to Janice, who's out there if she's listening. Love you too, honey. And this one's for you. I got a shot of tequila here, so
Yeah.
here you go, hon, that's for you. Wow. Well,
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Janice. Happy birthday to you, and many more.
yeah, she's 21 again, but never mind.
21!
But anyway,
Drink now!
fancy having a birthday when everyone's celebrating around the country about the EU dropping out. Well, the UK dropping out of the EU. You know, same thing, but that is so cool. So, that'll be 2 bottles of wine, Janice, I believe. But are you back with that documentation yet, Jelly? Because I'd really love to hear about that.
I'm trying to find it. I've got so much junk lying around, so many documents and junk that you get through a letterbox. It's hard to find stuff.
Maybe it's next time we should prepare for
I found it.
Oh my God.
Get in, get it read. What's it say?
I actually want to search this online because maybe if I can find the online version, people can see it for themselves. So I've got the printed version here. So it says, "Dear resident," I'll just read part of it. "Selective licensing of private rented accommodation in my town." On 12th of April 2016, a report was approved by the Cabinet of Scarborough Council to undertake consultation with internal and external stakeholders as required by Section 80 of the Housing Act 2004 to potentially implement a scheme for the selective licensing of privately rented properties in parts of the... Anyway, let me just see if I can find it online, because then people can see it for themselves. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, that'd be cool if you could put a link in somewhere in chat maybe, and also add it to the live stream header, or yeah, even there, so that's even good. As we go in there live on live stream, just check out the thing there. Shelley's actually bringing up the website or the link to show you what exactly she's on about. But it's the thing where every council around the England, they all have their subdivisions of the government which enforce policies, that's all they are, policies, because they're not law unless you agree to them. You have to concur for it to give it the force of law, but they trick you into thinking that it is, and once you agree that you've made joinder with it and you agree with it and you understand it, which is another legalese term of understanding. Once you say you understand, if somebody says, do you understand me, it means you stand under everything I say, which means now I control you, which is another thing is what the police use in England. Blah blah blah, you have the right to remain silent, all that bullshit, and then they say, do you understand? And if you say yes, that means you've just given them power over you. So there's the link, scarborough.gov.uk. We got a link there on here, but not on there. So if you can give me a second, I need to bring this up and lock it into here, which I can't do because I need to release this button.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, even in the States, it's licensing to fish. You have to have a license. And this one guy, he didn't have a license to fish, so they freaking threw him in jail. I'm like, wow. So just know, you guys, the good thing is out there, if the European Union is falling apart, that means it's good stuff happening for the United States of America. Because the United States of America is going to be falling apart too into countries. Watch. I'm telling you right now, it's going to happen this year. And if I'm wrong, then shoot, I'm wrong. But I have a good feeling about this.
Yeah, but at least for one thing, Drew, when you say you're wrong, you admit it. Not like the freaking president or the queen or the prime minister or any of these bullshit people that run in Houses of Commons. You know, all these politicians, they don't admit to their mistakes. But yeah, Shelley's just put a link in TeamSpeak. I can't copy and paste. So, Shelley, if you can put that link into the live stream chat, please, or somewhere where people can actually copy and paste rather than just typing it in, because it looks like a bit of a large link, I would say. You know, so we need that things like this to get out to the people so they can actually understand. Especially if you're listening and you're in the UK right now. This will probably apply to you because all your local councils will actually shoot off on this kind of stuff. So understanding the laws in England are going to be changing because now we're out of the EU. So there's going to be a lot of changes. You're going to have to bear with certain governments, certain councils, because throughout time, like I say, there's going to be a lot of changes, you know, so, and it's all going to come apparent very soon. But we're going to have to wrap things up at the moment until our next show, which will be very soon. Speaking of which, you any ideas when that's going to be, hon?
I'm sorry, what was that? Oh, okay. Well, our next show is going to be on Friday night on InfiniteSolutionsRadio.com. Please bookmark that page, infinitesolutionsradio.com. We've also included a chat room on there. So we'll be on there on Friday night, 7 p.m. PDT or Pacific time, 7 p.m. Pacific time. And if you want to be a guest on our show, please send us an email. You can send an email to DRUANNA, DRUANNA, at unseen.is. DRUANNA, DRUANNA, at unseen.is. Okay? And you can email me and say that you want to be a guest on our show. That'd be wonderful, because we are looking for some guests to share, express their views, what's going on with the EU, express their views, what's going on with the Mandela effect, express their views on anything going on. And what? Oh, if you want, especially debt successes, successes from the secure creditor students, or if you are having an issue with debt or any of that, or being bullied by the government or the bankers, definitely let us know. Go to securecreditor.com, that's securecreditor.com, and looking forward to seeing you all Friday. Y'all
yeah, can I just finish off, because it's going to cut off in a minute. The video is going to cut off in a minute, because we're getting close to the 2-hour mark. Yeah, I just wanted to say briefly that whenever they put this thing about licensing, make it all look good and like it's to do with dealing with antisocial areas and all this, but at some point everyone's going to be poor to the point where they can't afford to maintain their own properties, and it gives them an excuse to evict you from your home. That's what's going to happen. People are going to find themselves being evicted because they don't conform with the licensing agreement, blah, blah, blah. That's what they're going to use the license for. It's going to be to control people and move people out when they want to. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, like in the States, the credit report. You know that if you have anything on your credit, it could be money that you owe to Sears or, a department store. It doesn't even matter. If you owe a little bit of money or something on your credit report, they are not even going to rent the property to you at all. It is so horrible. Even to rent a car in the United States, you have to have good credit report. Can you imagine? It's the same crap. This has been going on forever.
Yeah, it's just about control. It's more control. It'll all look nice and pretty on the outside and decorative, but at some point when they want to use it, they'll use it. Anyway, we're coming up to 2 hours that we've been going now, and the stream's going to stop in a minute now. So anyway, Joanna's just giving her links out and everything, and we're just going to say thanks for joining us, and let Darren say his farewells as well.
Out of here, just like the UK left the EU. See you.
All right, guys, love and light, and we'll see you Friday night. How's that sound? Love and light, see ya Friday night. Have a wonderful week, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.